If someone categorized my personality like they would categorize produce, I would be greatly offended. However, we label things every day, intentionally or unintentionally. From the name of your various classes on your notebooks, the names on your preschool cubby, to the names of high school cliques. We label all of them. While the adults in our lives have preached organization by grouping things together, I believe that creates more harms than benefits. Grouping people together based on a similar trait causes them to sacrifice one unique aspect of themselves to conform to that group. My name is Shen, and I don't believe that we should label personalities. Think about labeling in the context of personalities. The two main groups that we sort people into today are introverted and extroverted. Introvert is a label for quieter people, and extrovert is a label for more outspoken, louder people. We base those categorizations off of body language, voice, and more surface-level characteristics. After we categorize that mystery person, we immediately begin to form stereotypes, actively or passively. For example, one such stereotype is introverted people tend to bury themselves in books and prefer to be by themselves. According to Milford from the University of Western States, approximately 75% of the world's population is extroverted, while 25% is introverted. Based on those statistics, we would expect that 3-to-1 ratio to be relatively consistent in activities and societies throughout our lives. Yet, the majority of the Mensa Foundation, an organization of people with IQs higher than 130, is 65% introverted. These numbers seem to prove the stereotype true, but from my personal experience, I believe that these are more correlation, not causation. When society creates and perpetuates that dichotomy of introvert versus extrovert, what is the result? The result is someone who wanted to be rowdy but couldn't because she was supposed to be the good child. Someone who felt like she had to fit into the introverted bookworm image, but all she really wanted to do was to be crazy like an extrovert. And it's reality. We would be confused if a normally quiet kid threw paper airplanes during class. These portraits of invisible expectations create a pre-made path for that child to walk in their future. That's the reason why I'm here today. I want to normalize the gray zone and show that the dichotomy does not have to exist. As someone who was once the quiet kid in the classroom, but the exact opposite person now, I don't want other people to experience the same invisible burden of choosing and sticking into one of the two personality options. Growing up, so many parents would compliment me because I was a good child, the one who does as she was told. I never got rowdy during class, never spoke out of turn, and never did anything remotely wild. I was basically an angel. But having those comments follow me wherever I went confined me into a box instead of helping me grow as a person. Up until middle school, I preferred to keep to my own business. La-di-do, do my own thing in my own little corner. However, I started to realize that it was difficult to succeed in school without possessing any semblance of an extroverted trait. I wanted to be sociable. But apparently, because everyone sees me as an introverted person, I am antisocial and fear human interaction. And so I wanted to change myself because I was tired of having to stay in the mold. But honestly, I just thought that I would be valued more as an extroverted person than the person I was before. A world in which children think that is a world that needs to change. Sadly, it's not just me who feels that way. According to a survey by the Myers-Briggs conducted in the United Kingdom, they found that 9 out of 10 people felt pressure to behave in an extroverted way. I'm sure that they all had their own reasons, but the numbers paint a sad story of who society values today. Perhaps this value may be intrinsic. Young, the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Psychiatry and Neuroscience, uses past research and empirical evidence to study humans and social behavior. He concluded that, like most animals, humans are inherently social and thrive in groups. So it might be plausible for us as a society to be drawn to social groups and outgoing people instead of the quieter people. Consequently, it becomes harder and harder for introverted people like me to thrive as themselves. So they force themselves onto the other side of the dichotomy, the extroverted people. And that forceful shift may be justified. Researchers from the Harvard Business School analyzed the daily diaries of introverts and extroverts in 2023. They concluded that extroverted people express their own passion not only more vividly, but in more varied ways. For instance, an extroverted person might voice their opinion to their boss during a meeting and talk about it outside of their meeting with their coworkers, and be more firm while pushing for their own cause. Employers perceive passion and engagement to be positive traits, so extroverted people are much more likely to gain promotions and rewards in the workforce. The result of praising that little girl for being quiet in school and then favoring those who are more loud created the society that we have today. One that brushes aside quiet people for the more louder, expressive, extroverted people. One that makes it difficult for introverted people to gain equal footing as extroverted people. What would the world look like if we stopped labeling people like this? The effect of simply being aware of the unconscious grouping of children creates ripple effects onto that child's future. In their future, they hopefully won't be like me and feel the need to conform into one group of the two black and white personalities. Obviously, that's extremely difficult. I myself even tagged those people in this TED Talk myself. However, no child should have to change themselves or feel like they are trapped into a mold. Personalities do not have to be clear-cut. In fact, I don't believe that they should be, and we should not even have a dichotomy in the first place. Creating a utopian society where we normalize the absence of a dichotomy is near impossible. But what all of us can do today is to start encouraging introvertedness to be the norm and to stop labeling people into two groups and preferring one over the other unconsciously. Introverts and extroverts are codependent on each other. After all, if there's one who talks, then there's one who listens. Thank you.